Hello and welcome, you're here with me, Chatty Tumbler, and today we are going to be doing some very long-range missile firing. We're going to be using the SLAM-ER missiles. I'll show you the scenario here. So we're on the runway at Cabletti, and we have way up here, there's a chemical factory. There are two little buildings and two warehouses that we need to knock out. We have two enemy SAM sites that are set up, and there's this very small corridor that they've carefully left for us, or foolishly left for us, and we're going to try and fire our missiles through there. So normally if we'd got airborne and we fired them straight, they'd go over the SAM site and get shot down, but we're actually going to vector the missiles through here and hit these 4 targets. Let's have a look at the aircraft. We've gone to the arming screen, and I already have 4 of these missiles loaded. I'll just show you those. They're here. The AGM-84H SLAM-ER. Expanded response, super long range missiles basically, which are awesome. We have 4 of those. Don't have a targeting pod. I don't have a data link. One of the options you can have is a data link pod, and you can use a camera to control the missiles in at the last second. But we're not going to do that. We're all going to do it with grid references today. So that's
request refueling.
It'll take him a second to tell me I'm
request rearming.
Rearmed. So he's rearmed the plane, and we can see these lovely missiles here on the outside. All 4 of them, all good to go. So we have got a bit of typing to do for this. Let's get rid of this joystick, and let's get everything ready. We can do it all on the ground before we get airborne. And we'll get rid of the map, like so we can see what's going on down here, because we're going to use this page. We'll put master arm on, switch those ground just to bring up the missiles, and there's our SLMR slammers. We'll bring that up. So there are 2 different modes that you can fire in. You can fire in pre-planned, PP, or target of opportunity. What we're going to do is we're going to fire in pre-planned mode, which is going to give us a little bit more flexibility. We don't have to sit and watch them go all the way in. So we need to do some prep work before we start putting in all the coordinates, and we're going to go on the map. Now what I'm planning to do is I want all my missiles to fire up to a point around about here. Let's do this in a bit. So around about here, so they keep clear of these 2 SAM sites, and then they're going to follow down this route here. And then when they get to about here, I'm going to let them do their own targeting and destroy all 4. So rather than having to type this waypoint and this waypoint 8 times altogether pretty much, I'm going to set them up as actual waypoints, and then we're going to be able to use those as like a quick reference. So what you need to do is, if you want to do the normal waypoints, you have if you use left, alt and Y, brings up all these different waypoint formats. So whichever format you prefer for creating these waypoints, this is the most precise one. So I would use this one where you have the 2 digits, 2 digits, 3 digits. And we're going to put the first waypoint is going to be here. Actually, let's put it down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little. I have a DCS mod called scratchpad, which is fantastic. And what that lets me do is it lets me put a dot on the map, and then so let's put it in the middle of that square, and then I can hit lat long, and I can type in waypoint 1. And that gives me in the this is the good format that we're going to use for the missiles, but what I'm actually going to use for creating the waypoint is this like the grid version. So waypoint 1 is going to be that one, and then waypoint 2 we're going to put about here. So we're going to snap that one with the lat long button. I'll put a link for this little app in the description. It doesn't cause any problems with integrity checks and that kind of thing. It's just like a little notepad, almost like sticky notes. So that's our 2 waypoints. Next thing we're going to do, if you haven't got this app, you're going to need to write down these numbers. Next thing we're going to do is we need to look at the center of these targets. So we need a really accurate position on all of these. So I'm going to zoom right in to the center of the icon. So really zoom in as much as it will let me. There we go, that's pretty much fully zoomed. So I'm going to put it right over the center, like so. I'll get as close as I can, that'll do. And this is target 1, and hit land long. So that's the first target. And then come out a little bit because we really zoomed in. And this will be target 2. And we'll grab that one. So I'm zooming right in the center of the icon. Copy that one. So again, if you didn't have this notepad, then this format doesn't work for us when you're actually getting the target locations. You need to push left, alt and Y until you get pairs of numbers. What we need to just click this a second. So left, alt and Y, left, alt and Y. So there we go. So we've got pairs of numbers that give us 8 digits altogether. That would be what we would use. And what you do is you put the cursor right over it, then you grab your notepad and you write down 45, 00, 45, 77, 41, 6, 20, 10, and 598 feet. The altitude is important as well, so we get all the information from this line. I'll just activate my scratchpad again. So we've got target 1's there, target 2, target 3, so we'll move over here, zoom out again. The more accurate we do this now, the more likely it is we'll get full kills. So zoom right in, put that little dot in the middle, like so, copy it, and target 4, this warehouse here. Put that in the center as close as we can get it, and copy that one. Okay, so we have our 2 waypoints written down either on this little scratch pad or on your piece of paper, and we have our 4 targets. So we can come out of this for now, go back in, let's turn that off, go back into the cockpit. So the scratch pad stays with us, which is great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 waypoints first, and you'll see why we do that in a minute. So waypoint 1, data, precise. And because it's using the kind of weird format, I'm going to have to do this in grid format, and I'll show you that in a second. So bring up the UFC, bring up grid. The first thing I need to do is I need to find the grid. We're already in 37, and we need FK is the grid we're after. So here's the F row. If I go north 1, here's FK. I can move my cursor to that, and TDC depress. So I'm moving this with TDC slew, and then TDC depress selects it. So we've got it underlined, and then all I need to do is type in this long number here, this 10-digit number. So I haven't pushed any of these buttons here. I just need to type in 452. Oh, let me just move this closer so I don't have to keep moving my head up and down. 45269. I don't need a space. 452. Oh, 45269, 45269. Okay. Enter. And then I put the elevation in. I prefer to use feet because it seems to be slightly more accurate. So it's 303 feet. Okay. That's waypoint 1. Now we're going to put waypoint 2. Do the same thing. Grid. Move it up to the FK grid. So TDC slew, TDC select, and this one is 594627361. Now don't worry about it looking a bit weird up here. We just pop it in. Now we put the elevation is 799 feet. Now it doesn't matter if you could put 20,000 feet for these ones. The height of the missile is going to be determined by the profile that we select, but I'd just like to have this in case something went weird and you needed that for somebody else. You've got all that information in there. I'm ready to go. So we've done those 2 waypoints. Now the fun, long bit, programming the missiles. So first of all, let's put all the fuses on. So if here it says the flight profile, so if I click on flight, so is it going to fly really high? Is it going to hug the ground like a little cruise missile, or is it going to do medium profile? I prefer medium or high because the low profile for some reason is a bit buggy, and the missiles will sometimes clip trees or go into the terrain for no reason at all. So medium or high is preferable. The fuse, we want it to be instant. So this is going to set it for all of these. Distance, don't need to worry about that. That's for if we were going to use a datapod. That's when does the camera come on and let us start guiding it. But we're not going to. You can just leave that at 10. It's not going to do anything for us. Next thing we need to do is we can put some steering points in. So we want the missiles. In fact, we want all 4 missiles to go to waypoint 1, to waypoint 2, and then we're going to manually put in the targeting waypoint at the end. So steering point 1 is going to be waypoint 1. Automatically brings up the next steering point. Steering point 2. Oh, sorry, waypoint 2. There we go, and that's those 2. I can then step, and I can do these steering points all at the same time. So waypoint 1. So we're now programming this. We've done this missile. We're now programming this missile. Step, waypoint 2. And now we're doing this missile, so we've done 3 of the 4. Waypoint 1. Steering point is waypoint 2. And that's that. And we step onto the last missile. Steering point. The first one, go to waypoint 1, then go to waypoint 2. So if you did this, you could do this and have missiles coming in from all different sides and going into the same thing, which would be awesome and scary. So we're going to step, and we're back onto the first missile. Now what we're going to do is we're going to program the final destination for each of these missiles. So if we bring up the display, so this is the Slammer display, then click on Mission. We now have the final details, so there's a lot of blank spaces on here. One thing I'm going to just quickly check is we will come back out. We want our missiles to come down this way, and what I want to do is use the range line and draw and see roughly what the final heading is going to be. So it's going to be about 020 degrees. So here it says 018. Now what you can do is you can have the missiles come in, and you could have them slew in at the last minute and head it kind of from west to east, or you can go from south to north. But I'm just going to keep it on roughly the same sort of track. So about 020 will be a good final heading for these. So let's start propagating all this information. So we're on station 8, we need to remember that so that we don't waste our time later. And we've got 2 different UFCs. The one we're interested in at the moment is UFC target. So I'll pop that in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide what do I want to do at the end. What is the terminal information for this, for each of the missiles. So what would the final heading be? I would like them to be on 020. What angle do I want the missile to come in at? So I want them to kind of dive down into the target. So if the nose points down by about 60 degrees, that's pretty cool. And velocity you can leave blank, but I always just put 600 in. You can do anything up to 998, I think, feet per second. But 600 seems to work absolutely fine. So that's that promulgated on that one. I can then step to the next missile. So we're now on station 2. And do the same thing. So it's already got velocity selected, so let's just put 600 in. An angle of 60 degrees diving down. If you had put in 90 degrees, for example, it would fly over the target and then try and go straight in through the roof, which is very good for kind of fragile type things. And the heading, we're going to put about 020. Okay, so that is now promulgated, so I can then step onto the next missile. So now doing station 7. It's given us heading to start with, so let's just pop that in. Oh. 020 is the heading. It wouldn't matter if I put 060. It would divert and go to somewhere else, or come in from another angle rather than hit the same target. And velocity 600. Oh, 6,000 would be awesome. And now when I hit step, we've got station 3. So let's get this one done. 060. 020. 600. Go. Now when we push step, the information's already gone, so we're back in station 8. So what we need to do is come out of that, go back in again, and now we need to work out what the final position and elevation is. And this is where these long groups of coordinates, 8-digit type coordinates, are going to come in very useful. These are really accurate. So target 1 is what we're going to go for first. So position, lat, and all I need to do is type in that grid. So north first, north, 45, 0, 0, 4, 5. I've run out of space, so I push enter. And to put the last 2 digits in, just put in 77 for the long. I don't need to put a 0. If you've used other weapon systems, you may find you have to put 0 in. With this one, you don't. So we're going to go east, 41, 06, 2, 0. Oh, enter, 1, 0. And then annoyingly you have to come off and come back on again. And then the elevation in feet of that target is 598 feet. 598. Enter. So that is missile 1 sorted on station 8. So now we're going to go on to the next station. So it's station 2. Now if you notice, this is boxed and has a cross through it. There isn't showing that there isn't enough information for this to work. So when I promulgate this in a second, you'll see that this box will lose the cross. So we're already on the elevation because it remembers what we were doing last time. So let's roll down to target 2, and we may as well put in the elevation now of 702 feet. Okay, and then we have to come out of this box, come back in again. Elevation's done. So let's put the position in. So lat, north, 45, 0, 0, 39, 21. Easting is 41. 0. Oh, easting 40. Oh, let's try again. Position. So we have a north in here, so we don't need to worry about that one. So let's go for the log again. So east 41. 0, 5, 56. Enter. And then 88. Enter. So now, see, it's got a box around it and no cross. That is fully promulgated and it's good to go. So we're going to move on to the next weapon. So we're on station 7 now, so this is number 3. And so we're scrolling to target number 3. And we're already on the longitude, but let's start from the lat because it's just easier. North 4, 5, 0, 0, 5, 4, 1, 8. And then the... Oh. That's what I did last time, I see. Okay. Position, longitude, east. 4, 1, 0, 6, 1, 1. Enter. 8, 5. Enter. So that's that one. You notice that it's still boxed out, so we've missed something. So in this case, it's the elevation is not correct. So let's pop that in there. Elevation is 610 feet. 6, 0, enter. And there we go. That's a valid target. All the information it's looking for is in there. The velocity has come off on that one for some reason. So let's pop velocity in here. 600. There we go. And then move on to the next one. So this is station 3, this is the final station. So we can come out, scroll down to number 4. Position, lat, north, 4, 5, 0, 1, 11. Enter, 0, 1, enter. Now don't push east at this point, click on a longitude, and then push east, which is what I was doing, which was making it being a bit buggy. 4, 1, 0, 5, 4, 8. Enter, 3, 0, enter. Okay, it's still boxed, so we need to put the elevation information in. We're in feet, and it's 671 feet. Phew. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a last look check, take that off, and we're going to make sure that we have this with no cross or on it, and that all of these are full in, including those ones down there. So we're on station 3. So station 8 has got all the information in. Station 2 has all of its information in. Station 7, Station 3, and we're back to that one. Right, just going to close this down again. Get rid of the box. So we are good to go. Going to get airborne, and I will see you in the skies when we're about ready to fire our missiles off. We're in the sky now, and I've selected waypoint 1 because we may as well head towards the initial initial turning point for the missiles. Come round, and I'm going to try and climb to about 20 to 30,000 feet. The higher I go, the less work the missile has to do. So if you notice, we have up here, we have waypoint 1, and then we have the targeting area here. So we know that this is definitely working, because if we had done something wrong, the target and the waypoint would be in the same place, or something weird would be going on. Let's get this sorted out. So put the autopilot on, cross couple that, and off we go. Very little else to do at this point. We've just got to get some height and get ourselves sorted. What is going to happen down here, so if I put this to 160 miles range, is when we get close to it, when we get within 160 miles of the target, we're going to get a really big circle, and that's going to show us the kind of area that we can fire in. And what we have here as well is a countdown. So we have all, this is TMR, time to missile release. So we've got 6 minutes and 30 seconds or less, because obviously we're speeding up and climbing as we go. If I was going low level and slow, that time would change. It constantly calculates what we need to do before I can launch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up time, and we're going to get some height. Let's put the nose down a bit. It's quite an aggressive climb. Speed up time again. Okay, we're can see are heading straight ahead. We can actually see the target miles and miles and miles away. To level 1. So we're 148 miles to waypoint 1, and we're still 3 minutes from the target. So now that we're steady and level, I can speed up time again. Racing through the sky. It's also a little buggy when the missile's launched. If you speed up time, they go a bit weird sometimes. So what I will do is I will just cut and edit the video and show you the missiles as they go through. Got about 45 seconds till we launch. And if we look down here, as promised, we have this circle. So this is the range ring. This is when we're inside that circle, and we can zoom in, then we can launch our missiles, which is great. So we're getting really close to it, and that's we're 131 miles away from our waypoint, and then the missile's even further away. It's about 20 seconds to go. And if I step through all the different payloads, so we've got it here, the time will change ever so slightly. Just step. So that one says 15 seconds, 15. 14, 16, so they're all a little bit out. So if you were firing at 4 things really far apart, you need to make sure that you are inside that missile release zone when you go. So here we go. Right, we're in range. We can fire the slammers. So I'm going to put my afterburners on, and I'll give these guys as much of a boost as I can. I'm going to take off that. I'm going to climb a little. See what I got off, and I'm going to fire the missiles. So 1 away, 2 away, 3 away, 4 away, and we can turn off the afterburner and go home. So let's turn around and go back home. Let's have a look at our missiles. So we are way down here. And our missiles have got, let's have a look, 134 nautical miles to go, which is a long old way. And if we zoom in, we can pick the guy in the back here, go to F6, and we can see our missile. Where's his mates? They're all below him, I think. So there's another one, there's the 3 of them underneath there, and they're all doing their own thing, heading towards the target. So I'm gonna go land. I think I was at Coboletti, so we're going to land back at Coboletti, and I'll join you when we're on the ground. These missiles are just going to fly and do their own thing, and I'll get back to you soon. Okay, we are back on the runway here at Coboletti. Show on the map. We've landed, not having anything to do with the missiles, and they are still up here, heading towards the target. Fat, dumb and happy. Do we still have 4? We still have 4 missiles, that's great. Sometimes they get a little glitchy. I'm going to risk speeding up time, and we'll see how they go. So let's accelerate time a little. Because I've got medium altitude, I'm not so worried about them doing weird glitchy things or crashing into trees. Low level ones I would probably not accelerate time at all, and just hope for the best. They will still sometimes crash. So remember, we had them coming up here, we want them to turn right, and then they want to go into that little target area. So they're getting close to waypoint 1 now. We will just go to like 2 times speed, have a look, and we'll see them starting to turn. And I'll show you that. We still have 4. Yeah, we've got 4 that are very close to each other. Go to F6 and we can have a look. So there's 1. That's the one at the back. There's 2 flying formation flying missiles. Don't hit each other, guys. Okay. Zoom out, and they're still heading towards the target. How far have we got? About 15 miles, 16 miles. We've avoided this SAM and this SAM, going right down the middle. Oh, 6. See the front guy. Yeah, he's the front guy. So once they get past that second waypoint, they're then going to use their internal logic to work out what they need to do to achieve the angle and the dive angle and the actual impact angle that we wanted. So it's doing its own little calculations, and they will start taking their own headings. We can zoom in a bit more. So a few more seconds and they should all be dead. I'm still sat on the runway. Gone to the officer's mess for a beer. First missile is 9 miles away. So let's have a look at that guy. So he's still thinking about what he needs to do. The other guys are behind him still. We should, there you go, his profile sign is changed now. It's on a heading of 020, which is what we asked him to do. Down here, in front of us there, below the clouds, you can see the 4 buildings. And he should be diving any second now. Okay, nose down, because again I asked for that 60-degree nose down angle. And what I will do is I will detach the camera in a second and we can watch all 4 of these missiles hitting. So if I use left control and F11, do that now, there you go, there's the camera detached. So there's the first missile hitting that building. And boom. Here comes the second missile. Bang. Third missile should be in a second. Here he comes. Bang. That's a big factory, so 1 missile is never going to knock it down. You always need 2 for that one. And the 4th missile should be here. There we go. Bang. 4 missiles, 4 hits. I'm safely 100 miles away. And it's a victory for Team Blue. So hopefully that helps with the Slimy R missiles. If you have any questions or any comments, put them down in the box below and I will always try and reply as soon as I can. I hope to see you soon. Happy hunting everybody and stay safe.